Hello, this is Todd Danielson, the editorial director for Informed Infrastructure. Joining me today is Clayton Lewis, a virtual design and construction VDC specialist at Professional Engineering Consultants, PEC. Thanks for joining me, Clayton. And can you start by explaining what is PEC, where are its offices, and what needs do you fulfill for your customers?
So Todd, PEC, we're located in Wichita, Kansas. We have offices in the surrounding states of Colorado, Missouri, Oklahoma. We are a multidiscipline firm, so we have civil services as well as structural, electrical, mechanical services. We have survey, geotechnical service. So we're kind of the one-stop shop engineering firm in the area, and we like to think of ourselves as thought leaders in the area. We want our clients and our customers to come to us when they have difficult troubles or solutions they need coming up with. So yeah, we expect to be, the big players in our area, so to speak.
All right, thanks. That should help a lot. So how would you describe your role at PEC, and what are your responsibilities? Also, how would you describe a VDC specialist?
My role at PEC as the VDC specialist mainly is making sure our civil team is using Autodesk products, specifically Civil 3D, to the best of their abilities. So typically what I do, I get software packages installed and set up, test all the new functions that they may have, and then roll out new tools to the users as they come out. I'm kind of the guinea pig or the test subject for all the new stuff that Autodesk rolls out to us.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think we're all guinea pigs at some point. Now, can you tell me what types of projects you typically work on?
So typically, and I guess I can speak to my past, before I took this role as the VDC specialist at our company, I was actually heavily involved in design and plan production. So my main focus was using Autodesk Civil 3D to produce plans and design. And those projects usually were new building structures with parking, new site developments, athletic fields, you name it, we pretty much had our hands in it. So yeah, that's kind of what I did.
That sounds very comprehensive. So are there specific projects that stand out to you where USCAD has been a valued partner?
In the past, like I said, working in VDC, we kind of think outside the box on things. We had a project for a local municipality where we needed to engage the public. We needed to show the public what our idea for the project was. So what we did was scanned it with a point cloud. We were going to do some visualization work. Come to find out, Recap, an Autodesk software, had taken away a capability of meshing this point cloud together. And so we were on the hunt for a software package that would mesh to point cloud. I looked up USCAD to see what they had available since they're our partner, and noticed that Point Fuse was one of the software packages that they support. So I reached out to Jeff, who is our point of contact with USCAD, and he started setting up calls with the development team from Point Fuse and got us on some calls to show off the software and get us different testing capabilities so that we could make sure that that product was going to work for what we wanted to use it on. And it was absolutely successful. We were able to engage the public on that project. We actually modeled an amphitheater project, and we're able to show that off to the public, get their buy-in, proceed with design, and we're just waiting on the guys in the field to finish construction right now.
On this amphitheater project, what were some of the difficulties that you came across where the software really showed its value?
I think the biggest thing, again, was kind of a limitation of software. This one piece had it. We thought we were good, and it kind of went away. But the biggest help for us from USCAD was engaging with the development team of the actual piece of software. And it was almost like a no questions asked. Jeff just kind of made it happen, which was really awesome. So in a really short time period, we were able to be introduced to a new piece of software and then actually use it effectively in a matter of days. So, I mean, you can't get that without, having that point of contact.
So you mentioned Point Fuse. Were there any other products you used for this project?
The other piece of software we used was called Lumion. It is a visualization software. Our landscape architect uses that to model basically in 3D the entire project up front. And so, yeah, like I said, Point Fuse was the go-between to get point cloud information meshed into Lumion almost as a existing model to model from.
It certainly sounds like the project was a major success. So can you talk a little bit more about what you had to do to get participation and buy-in from the public, as well as to get the project complete and across the finish line?
I think the biggest thing again was engaging public. This was it was in a public park next to the schools, a very high traffic area, and they were going to be putting a very artistic structure in this park that, to be honest, some people may have liked the way it looks, others may not have. It gave us the capability to show someone in real time what that's going to look like. And I think it eases people's minds to see something in a real world view versus something on a piece of paper. So again, that public engagement piece was extremely important to get buy off on designs that we were throwing at them. And it kind of minimizes the amount of work we're doing on the physical design when someone changes their mind about something. We've got a clearer path, and we can get the job accomplished in a much more efficient manner just by getting that little bit of public feedback.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, so thanks. So what did you learn personally from this project that you can apply to future work?
Having a bunch of tools in our toolbox is absolutely beneficial. Again, going back to PEC being the thought leaders in the area, we want to be able to handle whatever anyone throws at us. And if that means using a piece of one-off software to accomplish that, we want to be able to do that. And I think having partnerships with US CAD and Autodesk, and you can't put a price tag on that. Having a person to help you and coach you along right at your fingertips, you just can't put a price tag on that. So expanding our capabilities in the company by having partnerships and by having support outside the company has been very beneficial.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So I think people learn best from hearing about successful projects and how they were run. So are there any other projects where you might be able to pass along some lessons learned?
So I think like most people in the industry, we're all pretty excited about Autodesk Construction Cloud, what used to be called BIM 360. The capability to have a single source of data living in the cloud and not on a home server is extremely exciting to people. So we dove in headfirst whenever that started coming out and became available for Civil 3D, the package of software that I support. When we started testing, we noticed immediately that things just weren't working correctly. So again, I reached out to Jeff immediately, and he got us in contact with their support team, Doug, and he kind of started walking us through what was happening. And it may sound bad, but we saved a lot of time and money by not diving in head first, testing, getting feedback from support to help us make a decision that this is not right for us yet. We need to stop testing for the time being and we'll pick this back up in a later date. But yeah, I mean, that was big. I think we got more kudos from management by not diving in head first and doing this testing and finding that it's not working. They were more happy about that than I think the actual capability being working and functioning. So that was a huge positive for me. Even though it sounds like a negative, it was definitely a positive for us.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting, but it does make sense. So now can you help explain to others how you went about testing products and software before you jumped in? What was your process there?
The first thing really, we wanted to identify a project, a test project that we could save out on BIM 360, just kind of see how the functionality would work when an actual team of engineers and designers were working live on the project. So we only picked one project. We didn't pick something that would have too many users hitting the drawings at once. We just picked two users that sit in the same office, talk to each other regularly, so that they could be continuously bouncing those ideas off of each other. And then also me being in the VDC role, I was, again, in the same office, checking in, seeing how things were progressing. Yeah, more or less just having that person as a support internally, so that they can, jump up, go check on in files, see what it's doing on the web, that kind of thing. That was extremely beneficial, I think. Just don't bite off more than you can chew. I think that's the biggest advice I can provide.
Yeah, that's great advice. I totally agree. So what made you choose US CAD over other vendors?
The biggest part of that is US CAD's national presence. We see you guys at Autodesk University. We know what you guys bring to the table. You guys are doing the same thing I'm doing. You're out there looking at all the new pieces of software, not just Autodesk is providing, but any other software developer. You're out there looking at our industry, looking at the new pieces of software, deciding if they fit your group, and that kind of saves me a little bit of the headache of Google searching for different pieces of software. I know that if US CAD is vetting it, that it's probably a reliable piece of software. So yeah, that's the number one thing for me.
I'm sure that's going to save you a lot of time. So what is your personal relationship with US CAD?
I guess our relationship with US CAD started before I was even here. We were actually a customer of Midwest CAD. Midwest CAD was purchased by US CAD. Jeff was part of Midwest CAD. So yeah, that relationship kind of just came along with the merger of Midwest CAD and US CAD. So yeah, I think we've been a partner with them since 2009, which was before my time. And they continuously proved to us that we're making the right choice. So yeah, we love those guys. We love Jeff. He's a great point of contact. Yeah, can't say anything negative about those guys.
That's great to hear. You seem very pleased. But if someone from a different firm were to ask you to recommend US CAD, what would you say to them?
You're paying for not only the vetting of software, the support of software. I think you're getting a valuable partnership in VDC or BIM services, in my mind. Again, my role is research and development, and US CAD has that staff on board. They are testing the software packages and finding the bugs and communicating with Autodesk. And so in a sense, there is a layer of research and development that US CAD does that you can't do in-house until you've purchased the software. So in a sense, that's extremely valuable. You're building a relationship with them. They're looking out for your best interests. Absolutely. Yeah, USCAD's been a great partner for us. I mean, as you can tell, we've been with them since 2009. So, we're very happy.